Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 20 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series season 6. One of my favorite episodes, episode 20. Not only do I get to say 20 about 6 times during the intro, but I also get to release a world download, and I'll probably actually do it correctly this time, unlike last time where I had to wait until episode 11 to release it. This time, hopefully I won't mess it up, and you guys will get a world download at the end of this episode. So, what am I going to do to make sure that you guys get a really cool world download to go along with the episode here? Well, that's a really good question. There's a couple things I'd like to make, a couple things I'd like to get started with, and I think I'd like to work a little bit on some of the mods that we've already been playing with. I'd like to make a couple industrial craft tools, and then I'd like to jump into Thaumcraft and make a couple upgrades in Thaumcraft so I can leave you guys with some really cool toys and gadgets to play around with. And then I'm thinking within the next few episodes going forward, we'll probably have a couple other cool things to play with as well, so that by the time episode 30 rolls around, you guys will have a really cool world. So let's go ahead and get started. So Thaumcraft I'd like to do a couple things with. You can kind of see I've already laid out some cobblestone here, which means I've definitely got something planned. Anytime you see me put cobblestone somewhere like that, that's kind of like my blueprint where I'm going to lay out where I'm going to have what items. Looks pretty neat, so I'm interested to see what I do there. And then with industrial craft, there's a few things I'd like to make. First off, I'm tired of running around everywhere. I think I'd like to make myself a jetpack. So industrial craft adds two kinds of jetpacks. There's the regular old jetpack, which runs on fuel. Empty fuel cans are made with all kinds of crazy stuff and all kinds of neat, interesting things. I'm going to pass on the fuel-powered one because fuel is boring. I'm going to go with the electric jetpack. The fuel-powered one is a little bit stronger, but to be honest with you, the electric jetpack is rechargeable within the CESU that I made over here, so totally the one I want to go with. Let's get started, shall we? So I'm going to need a couple items here. Some glowstone, a bat box, some iron item casings. All that stuff seems pretty simple and straightforward to make, right? Nothing too complicated. The only thing that's new, I think, that you guys didn't see last episode is the advanced electronic circuit, which is an upgrade from the electric circuit, and it requires some redstone, glowstone, and lappies. So why don't I get some of the items I need to get started? That looks like that much, and a couple of you, and a couple of you, and a couple other things. And then I think I set this guy to me. Oh yeah, cool. Look at that. Nice. I'm going to need a hammer or two, and what else do I need? Bat box. We're going to need some batteries. So yeah, why don't I mess around, get the components ready, and then I'll meet you guys back here to make an awesome jetpack. Alright, let's see if I did this right. Can we get an electric jetpack? Yeah, we can. Nice. Cool. I'm going to sort all my items back to where they belong. There we go. You guys can go away too. Awesome. So let's charge this guy up. Simply throw it in the top of the CESU to store energy in it. Nice. There we go. So we've got a nice new jetpack, and I should be able to, hooray, fly around. Cool. Look at that. So it's not creative mode flight, so when you let go of the spacebar, you're going to start to drop. But that's okay. We've definitely got a nice way to travel around, and oh man, look at this. Nice stuff around here. Cool. Let's start working, like I said I wanted to work on some Thaumcrafty stuff. I would like to make the top tier wand that should be available for you guys. It's the Silverwood wand with thaumium wand caps. Now that's unfortunately a bit complex to make. Let's dig around in our ender pouch here and see what's involved. Let's see, there's the Thaumonomicon, and let's go to thaumaturgy. So I haven't researched everything in the world here, but I've still got a long way to go for research, but I've got a couple cool things already taken care of. Let's take a look at the Silverwood wand core. Okay, for this guy, it's a pretty complex arcane infusion recipe, which requires like 9 of each aspect of the core basic aspects, including magic. So we're definitely going to have to cook down some items and throw them into the jars there. We're also going to need 1 of each entropy shard, or each shard. So we've got entropy in order, earth, water, fire, and air, and then we need some Salus Mundus, which is something that's made pretty specifically. It's an arcane workbench recipe, so it's easier to make than arcane infusion. You require at least some kind of shard and some kind of essence. Okay, these ethereal essences are only dropped by wisps. Wisps can be found in mostly kind of any magical biome. You can also find them in the nether. Now, an alternative option for this guy, instead of going with Salus Mundus for using the wisp drops, is something called a mana bean. Let's take a look at mana beans, what they are and how you can get them. Okay, so a mana bean here, let's see, does there information? I think it's in the plants and trees section. Oh yeah, mana beans, cool. Mana pods are found, they kind of grow like cocoa grows in jungle biomes, but you're going to find these in magical biomes. So anywhere that you have a magical biome just kind of hanging out, that's where you're going to find your mana beans. Now luckily it just so happens that there's a magical forest not too far away from my base. Looks like I have a little bit of a chunk error loading thingy here, so let me just relog real quick. There we go. Relogged real fast, and cool. So not only over here is there magical biome, but we also have these little guys, mana pods. Awesome. They look like fully grown mana pods to me, so let's break them. Nice. I got 2 mana beans out of that. You will typically get at least 1, and if it's a fully grown mana pod like these are, you'll possibly get 2. Now, mana beans can have almost any aspects on them. Any aspect that's in the game could be randomly chosen for the mana bean. So let's grab our thermometer. And I'll put this away. I don't need him at the moment. So you can see there's something in here with an unknown aspect. So let's scan it and see what we got on there. Oh. Nothing can be learned from this. Okay, cool. So I guess you can't scan it directly. So I'm going to have to hang on to it. I have a feeling based on the color I know what it is. It might be the taint aspect. I haven't really found any taint biomes. So, cool. So we've got a nice Silverwood tree here, which, by the way, Silverwood trees change the biome nearby to Magical Forest. So that's cool. There's also another mana tree over here, a nice Silverwood one. And we can see that we've got like a decent biome over here with a couple of these mana beans. Now, obviously, this area isn't chunk loaded most of the time, so they haven't had really much of a chance to grow, but that's okay. Let's go over here. Ooh, we can even see that there's a nice little Thaumcraft aura node inside the middle of this tree. So that's a pure node. And the pure nodes there are what's causing the transformation into the magical forest biome right adjacent to it. So magical forests are a nice place because you'll see that there's a lot of mana beans that tend to spawn naturally in the world. If you break them as they are now, you'll at least get the 1. Really, the only reason you might want to wait for them to grow fully is so you can get 2 out of them potentially. But since I don't have this area chunk loaded all that often, I'm going to go ahead and grab most of these now. You can also see there's quite a few Silverwood trees here, which is kind of a good thing. So let's grab a couple things I want to get. I want to get out my shears. I want to get out my dire axe. And let's chop down a couple of these trees, shall we? Because I would like to, if I can, get a sapling. So one of the things you might want to grab, by the way, are shimmer leaf. If you break them with your fist, you'll get, what's it called? What is it? Whatever cinnabar smelts into. Quicksilver, that's what I was looking for, that's the word. If you break it with your hand, you'll get quicksilver, which is probably not something you're going to want to do. So breaking it with the shears gets you the shimmer leaf, which is actually a pretty nifty gadget. You can use it for a couple things in Thaumcraft work, so we want to kind of hang on to those. Okay, so let's chop down this tree, like so. Now, unfortunately, when you chop down the tree, if there is an aura node in it, you will destroy the aura node, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. So why don't I cut down some of these leaves too? Let's see, where's my sickle? Now, like I've told you guys in the past, Silverwood saplings, not the most common thing in the world to find. So don't be surprised if you cut down a couple trees and don't find any. But, oh, there's one. Nice. Don't also be surprised if you cut down a couple trees and get like maybe even 2 from a tree. It's just, all random. It's up to you, it's pretty random. It's totally based on your luck. Cool. So I'm just chopping down all these leaves. I want to get a leaf or 2 if I can, so that I can get some saplings. You can also, use shears to get the leaves if you want, if you like the way they look. They can be used for a couple things. I think, if I recall, I know we've scanned these things, but they've got, it looks like they just have that aspect on them. Okay, I thought they had a purus, but maybe not. Come here, you. Cool. Alright, so far, not too bad. Looks like I got at least 2 Silverwood saplings. Awesome. Like I said, sometimes you'll get none, sometimes you'll get 2. I was a little bit lucky I got 2. I like it. Alright, I will be back. I might want to see if I can get 1 or 2 more saplings, but at the very least I've got the one that I want. I'm also going to fly around and steal a few more of these nifty little gadgets right here. Cool. As many mana beans as I can get would be nice. Be right back. So as you can see, my inventory is getting rather full. Luckily, I have this awesome pouch that I can drop any item into, and it'll automatically get sorted within my sorting network for me. Haha, cool. Love it. Alright, collecting a few more mana beans, and then heading back to my base. Alright guys, we're back, and I'd like to start working in my Thaumcraft room, but it occurs to me that, wow, my Thaumcraft room is really far away. Look how far away it is over there. I mean, my base is here, my Thaumcraft room's over there. It's like a long way away. And sometimes I forget stuff and have to run back and forth and come back to get stuff. Wouldn't it be cool if my logistics pipe system was accessible all the way over there from over here? Well, I think we can make that happen, can't we? Yep, we definitely can. So let's get started. In order to make this work, there's some mod integration between logistics pipes and thermal expansion. We can hook up tesseracts, and if you have two tesseracts on the same frequency connecting two remote logistics pipe systems, they should be able to talk to each other just fine. So let's make some tesseracts for the first time. Let's play around with a tesseract frame. Now, in order to make this, we need a couple things. We need some hardened glass, which I'm not sure how much of that I have left. Probably not much. Yeah, not enough, that's for sure. Let's get ourselves a stack of obsidian and start pulverizing it while we're at it. There you go, pulverizer, do that thing. And we also need to get ourselves some enderium ingots. Enderium ingots, by the way, can be used for several things. They're the top tier upgrade, so if you want to get like the highest level energy cell, or if you want to get the highest level portable tank, which can hold 64 buckets of water, or the highest level strong box, which can hold like a lot more items, you're going to want some enderium ingots. These things are used for a lot of cool stuff. Most importantly, though, they're used for tesseracts. So in order to get enderium ingots, it's actually a little bit complicated. We need to get an induction smelter with some pyrotheum dust, which is basically sulfur, coal dust, redstone, and blaze powder. That's not too hard. But then we're also going to need to get ourselves some enderium blend. And we get 4 of these enderium blend per resonant ender bucket, shiny metal, and 3 tin dust. Okay, shiny metal is a rare drop that comes from ferrous ore. You get about 10% chance of getting some pulverized shiny metal every time you pulverize ferrous ore. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, there is a way to upgrade that. I'll kind of show you guys that a little bit later so we can get a little bit more shiny dust if we really need it. But for now, I happen to have enough shiny metal. I've got 8 remaining in there, and I've got 2 in my inventory, which is what I'm going to need. However, how do we get this liquid ender we're going to need? Well, it's actually not too hard, resonant ender. You get 1/4 of a bucket per ender pearl. So you can see 250 millibuckets per ender pearl in a magma crucible. So I'm going to throw about half a stack of ender pearls into my magma crucible. There we go. And remember, that's set to automatically output to the adjacent fluid transposer. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to see if I have any buckets. I don't have any here. How about over here? I've been using them. Oh, good, too. That's exactly what I need. Come here, you. Cool. Magma crucible, cooking up some ender pearl liquid, getting resonant ender here. We can toss these buckets into the fluid transposer, and they'll fill up nice and quick. Cool. I've got my 2 resonant ender buckets. Hey, you stop pulverizing obsidian for a minute, would you? I need you to pulverize this shiny metal. That would be super kind of you. Thank you. Now get back to work. And while I'm at it, I should probably grab some lead, so I can get some of that awesome glass. So a stack of you and a stack of you should be good for a moment. Alright, so let's get the enderium blend, which, like I told you guys, should be something like this, that gets us some of that enderium blend, that gets us some of that enderium blend, and then we need to induction smelter it with the pyrotheum dust, which is pretty easy to make. I should have enough to make several of them. Awesome. Induction smelter, are you done working with this stuff? Not quite, but enough to be good. Cool. Now, I know I've made a little bit extra of something here. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, we made a little bit extra pyrotheum dust, but I'll have a use for it in the future, I'm sure. Cool. So induction smelter is making me some enderium ingots. Cool. Finally, going to need some diamonds. So let's just pop right into here and get a pair of diamonds. Ready to make this thing happen. You're still pulverizing? Good. So I've got 4, 6, and we're waiting on the last 2 here. Shouldn't be much longer. Boy, this thing's slow when it's cooking up enderium. There we go. 8. Cool. You two go back to work. Alright, so let's make ourselves... Now, tesseracts can transport items, liquids, and thermal expansion energy across a great distance, including across dimensions. But it needs to transport it somewhere else, right? So we need two of these. We need a sending end and we need a receiving end. In this case, we're going to be transporting items. Okay, so we've got our thermal expansion tesseract frame. Cool. How do we actually get a tesseract? Well, it's not too hard. We just need to get some bronze and we need some silver. Okay, and we surround the tesseract frame with it, but we need to fill up the tesseract with some resonant ender first. We need a bucket's worth, so that's another 4 of the ender pearls cooked up. So we're going to need 8 total for the 2 frames. While that's happening, I'm going to get some bronze. Do I have any of that stuff? Not really. Maybe I should teach my crafting system how to make bronze. At some point, I probably will. All right, so I'll get a dozen of you and 4. Should have grabbed silver while I was there, huh? That's okay. Silver, 8, cool. You guys should be done filling up my tesseract frame. Yep, one of them's done. The other one's taking just a moment. It does take a little while to fill these tesseract frames with resonant ender than it takes to fill a bucket, but that's okay. Cool. There's my silver that I requested, and I should now be able to craft some tesseracts. Beautiful. Loving it. Okay. Let's make sure that this thing has plenty of pulverized obsidian to work with. And we'll go downstairs. So where do I want to hook this thing up to? That's a really good question. So when you have these tesseracts set up, you want to make sure to have a 1-to-1 frequency connected to them. And what I mean by that is you don't want to have one transmitting to 5 different places. Because what happens is when the item goes through to that other place, it's totally random which one it chooses to go to. I'll kind of explain that in a moment. We should also grab some logistics pipes. Here's a couple basic logistics pipes. That should be all I need. I'll grab some stone transports too, just in case. And I should really make myself a requesting logistics pipe for over on the other side while I'm here. So let's get a redstone chipset and an iron gear. Redstone chipset, and I should be able to request a gear. You know what I never taught this thing iron gears? Request. Let's get ourselves a crafting logistics pipe too. And some pieces of iron. There's the crafting logistics pipe. There's the iron. This guy. Cool. I think... Oh yeah, I need a remote crafter. One of these, please. Zip. Gotta love it. Cool. You are going to be taught how to make one of these. Cool. So we'll just say import, and I should have my sign label thingy. There it is. Cool. Just because I know I need iron gears often enough that I want to make sure that I know how to make them. But since I have the ingredients on me for now, I'll make it real quick. I can get my request logistics pipe and be ready for this to work in a minute. So we should probably have our basic logistics pipe here ready to go. I don't know if we really need one on either end of the tesseract. I'm trying to think where I would want these things to sit. Let's say, what if I put it just here? And I mean, I might want more in the future, but we'll see. For now, I can right-click on this. Now, tesseracts are cool in that they do a bunch of different things. First off, you can set an owner. I'll leave it public access because when I do my world upload, I want you guys to be able to access this thing. If I put it on owner only, you guys wouldn't have access to it because you wouldn't be Direwolf 20. That wouldn't be cool. You can also say to turn this thing on when it's receiving a redstone signal, or turn it off when it's receiving, or ignore redstone signals altogether, which is what I'll do. And then the configuration, what it's going to do. Is it sending or receiving items, fluids, and energy? So I'm going to tell it that this guy is going to send only items, and we're going to turn off liquids and energy because there's no real need to set that. You don't have to turn those off. I mean, you can leave them if you want, but I kind of like to configure my tesseracts correctly. And then we can set a frequency. I'm going to set frequency to 1, and and we're going to name this frequency base to Thaum room. Okay, and we're going to add it to the list of frequencies. Cool. So now we've named frequency 1, and frequency 1, anytime there's any other tesseracts that are labeled frequency 1, they will be basically connected to this tesseract, and items will be able to send through them. You can see that the connector here is red. That should change in a moment when we get over to our Thaumcraft room. Okay, let's come over here and see what happens. So if we come down into our Thaumcraft room, which I still haven't built a door for, I know I'm terrible. How about right here being a nice place for this thing to, kind of pop out at? Above the chest, maybe? It's going to pop the tesseract right into the wall there. Okay, we're going to set this guy to the base to Thaum room, and when I hit the check mark, you'll see it's automatically linked up to 1. We're going to make sure this guy is set to receive mode, item mode, receive only. Okay, and then we'll block all the other stuff. So sending nothing, receiving items, we should be good. And now I should be able to connect my request logistics pipe here. And will you talk? Maybe not. What if I put this thing here? Will that work? They don't seem to be talking, so let me see if I'm configuring something wrong, and I'll be right back. Hey, there we go. I got it connecting. So here's the tip. For logistics pipes, you're going to want to set these guys to both sides to both send and receive, so they can talk both directions. I guess logistics pipes is checking for that, and if it can't send and receive in both directions, it considers it not a functioning pipe. But because we've got this set up here, we should now be able to right-click on this request logistics pipe with a crescent hammer and have access to my entire logistics network. Awesome. So now I can, come down here. If I want to make something, it shouldn't be a problem. While I'm at it, I do want to make myself something really nifty. I want to make a filing cabinet. Cool. Filing cabinets are really nice. Remember I told you I think in the past I've used them once or twice so far. Let's go ahead and make sure that we've got the stuff for it. So first off, I need 3 chests, and I'm going to need 6 pieces of iron. Should really upgrade this guy, but I'll get to it in a bit. I'll upgrade it to an advanced logistics pipe in a moment. So items should be flowing into the tesseract and coming down here, in theory, presumably, possibly. Come on now, give me some iron. What's going on back there? That's a really good question. Is iron coming or what? See here, I thought it was all working and stuff. Alright guys, we're back and we're going to try this again. Cross your fingers that it works. Iron 4, request. Hooray! Nice, there it is. Loving it. Cool, so that worked. So let me give you guys just a quick heads up on what happened here. It looks like when I requested that, the server crashed, which was cool. And then when I restarted the server, it crashed again, which was not cool. The way I fixed it was updating to a newer version of logistics pipes. It looks like they added integration recently. So what I'm going to do before I wrap up this episode and give this to you guys as a world download, because I don't want it to crash your worlds, and I'm also going to recommend that you not use this kind of interaction until the next version of the Direwolf 20 pack, which will hopefully be around version 11 or 12. So like right now it's 1.0.10. Wait until it's 1.0.11 or 12. And check for the version of logistics pipes. It should be greater than version 89 before you go ahead and use an integration like this. Otherwise, you will crash your server or your world and it won't work. So there you go. Heads up, warning, no big deal. It should be fixed in the next version. Because the new version of logistics pipes is working, so it's just the Direwolf 20 pack needs to be updated before it can function. All right, back to what I was doing and showing you guys cool stuff. The filing cabinet, remember I told you, is a good way to store a bunch of different items with the same item ID, but different types of metadata, right? So here's a good example of what I'm talking about. If we were to look at some of those beans, some of the mana beans that we got, okay? You can see if you look it up in NEI, it's always going to be item ID 25366. Let's run back to our base and take a look at what that means. Okay, coming over here, you can see that all these different mana beans are item ID 25366, but they're all different items. They all have different metadata, which means they have different information stored within the item. But the item ID is always the same. So the cool thing about the filing cabinet is the following. Okay, these different items can all be stored within the filing cabinet, no problem. Even though they have just the same item ID, but you can't store anything else in there. So only one type of item can go into the filing cabinet, but it's a great place to store multiple things that are all the same item ID. Another example of this would be Mistcraft pages, or there's a bunch of different examples, but trust me, your best bet for storing mana beans is to throw them all into this thing. Now, I guess it retains its inventory when you pick it up and break it, which is perfect because I want to bring all my mana beans that I have with me into my Thaumcraft area. So that was really easy to do. Hooray. So that's pretty neat. So anything with the same item ID can be stored in the filing cabinet. Very cool mechanic. Let's go bring this into our Thaumcraft area and see what we can do with it. Away we go. So I guess I'll put it like right here. Might not be a bad spot. Cool. Looks nice, flush with the wall, kind of the same color as stone. Just a nice little filing cabinet there to hold all my mana beans. Right, so let's get ourselves an awesome wand. So what did I need for that, now that it's been a while? In order to get myself a really good wand, there's a couple things we want to have. I want to get the best available wand in the game at this time, and that would be a Silverwood wand core with some Thaumium wand caps. So let's get the wand core first. We're going to need something with air, water, fire, order, perdito, magic, and earth. We're going to need one of each of these air shards. And keep in mind that these air shards each have most of these aspects on them as well, so we could use them to get the aspects we need, or we can find other items. It's up to us. Okay, so why don't I get some of the items we're going to need? And the nice thing about this now is that I can request them all from here, right? So I can say, hey, give me one of each of these shards, and I should have no problem getting them. Awesome. All right, I'll be back once I've collected all the items I'm going to need in order to get this working. So a neat idea for you guys might be to put a hopper on the side of this thing so that you can put all the items that you want to get in there. So for example, I want to throw some coal in there. I could have sworn I requested more coal than that, didn't I? Maybe not. All right, let's get some more coal. Come here, you. There it is. Cool. Still got my goggles on, nice. My goggles are almost broken, so I'm probably going to have to make a new set soon. So I'm throwing some coal in there to get the fire aspect. I'm going to throw some iron in there to get the order aspect. Threw some cobblestone in for the perdito, and some magic aspect. Great wood logs are a perfect source of magic aspect. So all that stuff is getting made. Let's make ourselves the Salus Mundus that we're going to need. So let's make sure we have our wands at the ready. Haha. I've got my iron-capped wand, which is probably pretty low on V. Yeah, it is. And I've got my gold-banded wand, which I kind of didn't want to use, but I guess I'm going to have to. Okay. Let's get ourselves some Salus Mundus. So we're going to need 2 mana beans. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be the same 2. I just happen to grab that because it's a little bit easier. And any kind of shard. So what's the shard that we have the most of? It looks like air shards we have a good number of, so we'll press one of them. And we'll just make it with this for now. There we go. These 2 guys. Salus Mundus. Cool. All right. And then we need to get ourselves, what? Just Silverwood in the middle? Cool. I think I've got some somewhere around here. See why I made this? This is totally useful. Having this Tesseract hook up to my main system. Gotta love it. Cool. So Silverwood goes in the center here. And then one of each of the shards goes around the edge. And then the Salus Mundus. Cool. You know what I kind of would like to do? Have I gotten the research yet for the wax? Where is that stuff even? No, I haven't gotten magic tallow yet. Should kind of maybe work on that. One thing we can do to kind of increase the stability of this thing is to put some candles nearby in a nice balanced pattern and some mob heads and a couple things like that. I'm not going to worry too much about it because I don't think this is a terribly, it's moderate flux, so this might hurt a little bit, but we're going to see what happens. All right, so do I have everything I need? We've got air, we've got water, we've got perdito, we've got earth, we've got fire, and we've got magic, and we've got a little bit of ordo. I think we're waiting for a few more to cook up. Cool. Alright, once that's finished up, we'll be ready to make this thing. In the meantime, I'm going to make some thaumium. I might even have a little bit of this stuff. Yeah, I found a couple in some chests, so that's good. It just saves me the trouble of having to craft it. You basically have to throw iron in as a catalyst with some magic into that thing, and you get your thaumium. But I'm going to make these guys into thaumium nuggets. 1, 2, and I'm going to get myself some thaumium caps. Okay, I'm going to need 1, 2 of these. Now, unfortunately, these things are inert, and if we want the best caps available, we're going to need to go ahead and infuse them with 3 Salus Mundus each. And this is going to require some aurum aspect and some potentia aspect. Okay, aurum is not easy to come by. If we come back here, we'll discover that one of the, I think the only thing that you can get aurum from is these things right here. Let's see, where is the aspects of magic? Aurum can really only be found on the little wisp essences that drop. So I need to either go find some wisps and kill them, or come up with another method of getting that, which there is another way to get it. I just hate doing it. I don't know. I'll be back in just a minute here, and we'll see what we come up with. I'm going to just fly around in that magical forest over there and just see if I find anything. Ooh, my jetpack's a little bit low on fuel, so why don't I recharge it in the CESU and then see what I can come up with. There we go. Alright guys, so I'm taking the shortcut method of getting some of this stuff. If you find yourself in the world an aura node that, you know, isn't bad per se, because all aura nodes are going to be somewhat useful for you, but if you find that this aura node is just not too fancy, doesn't have anything that you're really interested in, you can actually destroy the aura node. So this thing has a lot of water in it, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. Having a nice amount of water like this is pretty good. In fact, I'm probably going to fill up my water wand in my iron-capped wand before I do much. You can see I've kind of been exploring a lot. If you look at the map here, I've marked out a lot of the aura nodes I found nearby. So what I did on purpose was make sure I flew really far away from my base and found an aura node that's just not too interesting to me. I'm going to break it. You can mine these with any tool really, and once they're destroyed, you'll get a bunch of these little wisp essence things. In fact, let me put away some junk that I've got here. Yeah, put all this junk away. I don't really need much of this anymore. These things can go. Bronze I don't need. Okay. You can see I've been out here for a little while. So I got some ethereal essence with some aqua in it. Obviously aqua, because that's the aura node that I broke. So if you run into aura nodes, like, I don't like breaking them usually because you really want to have as many as you can to recharge your wand, but it's really a good source of getting these ethereal essence. So I'm just going to look around real quick, see if I can't find any more aura nodes near here that just, you know, aren't too good, and then I'll be back to start crafting some stuff. And the deal with these is they have 2 aurum each, so I do need some more of these ethereal essences because I think I needed 6 per cap, and I have 2 caps to do, so that's 12. Alright, so I'm getting 1 and 2 and 3 more Salus Mundus. That's for one of the wand caps. We're going to need another set now. So let's get ourselves a few more shards. I'll get earth ones this time. And 6 more of these things. I'm going to have to go farm some more of these in that area over there, and then probably in a relatively future episode, relatively quick, I want to show you guys how to set up a farm to get some yourself. And then eventually I'm going to automate the farming of them and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it I've planned, but for now I just want to get you the basics in order to get myself this top tier best wand available. Alright, this thing should be ready to go, so let's kick it off, shall we? I think I just need to give this guy a good hit. We have everything we need. Good, we've got the aurum for the caps, we've got order and magic and all that stuff. Let's hit it. That was a little bit of a zap. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to some of the flux that can occur with this. Bad things can sometimes happen, so be aware. Should probably have made sure I have extra shards on me, but we'll kind of hope for no destruction of items. So otherwise, bad things can certainly occur. Alright, so we're infusing all the different elements in there. That's cool. Everything's going in smoothly. We just need a little bit more magic now. Should be coming out. Cool. Once magic is done, it'll pull in all the items, and we'll get our wand core. Now, I know we've already hit the wrapping up point here, guys, but I really want to finish this before I give you guys World 20's download, so apologies. I hope nobody's going to complain, but the episode will run just a few minutes late as I wrap up this stuff. Cool. Now we're talking. Alright. Wand core. Awesome. So this thing can store 100 of each V. It's the best one you can get so far. The wand caps are going to give you a really good discount on your stuff. I think the one I have here is 105% discount. This guy up here is a 95%. So the Thaumium caps here are going to be the best available. And as we recall from our book, we're going to need to get basically 3 Salus Mundus and some Potentia. I don't know how I am for Potentia. Probably none in here. I've got 16 Potentia, actually. How much do I need per cap? 12. All right, so we're going to need a little bit more. A good source of Potentia, redstone. Just make sure I have a good amount of it here. Thank you, sir. You go ahead and get cooked up, redstone. Nice. All right, so we've at least got one, or enough now to do our first cap. So let's do 1, 2, and 3, and go. Potentia is coming in, and then the Aurum should come over. Luckily, this one's pretty straightforward. Cool. Do I have enough Aurum for another set? We do. Nice. One more inert Thaumium cap. And go. 6 more Aurum. A dozen more Potentia. There we go. Enough of that. Enough of that. So lots of effort, but trust me, this is the wand you want to have. Cool. Now there's one more aspect here that's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you guys a really good trick for this. Okay, you ready? If I want to combine this charged caps and the Silverwood rod, it's going to cost me 54 aspects. Uh-oh, my wand can only hold 50. That's not good. Well, don't forget that when you use your gold-banded Greatwood wand in here, you get a discount on your V cost. So now it's down to 51. Also, don't forget that when you are wearing this outfit, like so, ta-da, you get an even bigger discount, and you can see here that now it's going to cost 48.6 V. So, what's going to have to happen? I got to recharge my Greatwood wand just a little bit, and then I'll be right back to make this awesome wand. Alright guys, getting ready to wrap up here, but like I said, I wanted to make sure I had this thing ready to go. So I've got a wand here with 50 V of each aspect after flying around and hitting all the different points that I know about, and I should now be able to craft this, provided that I'm wearing a full suit of this armor. I told you it was worth making, because it means we can skip one of the wand upgrades. So there are wands that can store 75 of each V type, and I believe it's these different cores here. They can hold, I think, 75. Slightly greater storage potential than Greatwood cores, yes. So normally, if you didn't go with this method that I'm using right here, you'd have to craft one of these middle tier wands and then jump up to this one. But by using a full set of armor, all the discounts available, plus the Great Banded Wand core, we get this guy, the Thaumium embossed Silverwood wand, the best wand available. Awesome. We can use this guy to do all kinds of cool, nifty stuff. It gives you a good discount. Actually, let me get my armor off here. And what I'm going to do here now is the same thing I do at the end of every episode, where I'm going to be, uploading the world for you guys, which will be, I'm going to put all my stuff into a chest. But real quick, I just want to go visit some kind of Thaumcraft node. Should have one not too far away over here, just to show you what kind of good discount you get using this thing. So there we go. I recently filled my wand up off this thing. So like I said, you can store up to 100 of this stuff. So I've just filled up to 36, and we're about a third of the way full on that order. So holding 100 V is pretty nice. And you'll also see here that you get an 85% discount. So, 85% cost, so 15% discount. So between all your gear here, you can get a really nice discount on pretty much everything you do with the wands. This also includes when you have caps on it. So when you're doing equal trade or anything like that, you'll get discounts on that too. Anyway, though, for now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. So let's actually put some stuff appropriately in place. You can go away. I don't need this stuff, or this, or this. Buckets? Yeah, I'll put them away too. And you. Cool. And then I'll make sure my ender pouch has a bunch of the wands and stuff that I'm not going to need. You can go away. This stuff can go away. Cool. And then you guys can have my inventory. Alright, so now there's one thing you guys should note, is that research is stored by player. So you won't have access to all the research that I've done because your player name is different from mine. So you will have to redo your Thaumcraft research. There's nothing really I can do about that. But, I mean, I think there might be a file you can modify in the configs. If you look through the world save, you might find a file with my name on it related to Thaumcraft research. If you put your player name on the file, it might work, but I'm not really sure. I've never tested anything like that. So definitely worth doing your own research, though. But at the very least, you'll be able to use all the cool stuff that I've made from Thaumcraft, even if you haven't researched it. Anyway, for now, Direwolf20 signing off on episode 20. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. World download should be available on the forum thread in the description of this video. It might be up, a little bit later today. I don't usually have it up first thing in the morning, but it'll definitely be up today. All right, guys, take it easy.